Hello viewers, my name is Tyler Marchand. For those of you who watched my video of the best hit songs of 2019, I'd like to personally say thank you. I intentionally decided to do that video first because I knew that inevitably I would be making a video that is guaranteed to get more views. My picks for the top 10 worst hit songs of 2019. Like I said in my best of video, 2019 was actually a very good year for music. Granted, I didn't have as many songs on my overall list as in some of the more fantastic years of the 2010s like 2015 or 2017, but I still stand by my claim that the decade ended off on a relatively high note. A big part of that opinion came from the fact that this year didn't really have as many hit songs that were outright atrocious as opposed to other years like 2018. This video, I'll be talking about 16 songs that I didn't like over the course of the year, but it really won't be until later in the video when we get to songs that actively start to piss me off. As with my best of video, songs are only eligible for this list if they made Billboard's year-end list for 2019, so toxic songs like Earth and lame songs like Cool are ineligible. Songs that also carried over from 2018 are likewise ineligible. That means that Girls Like You won't be on this list. Which brings me to some revisions to my worst of 2018 video. Girls Like You by Maroon 5 is now on the dishonorable mentions list for 2018. Same goes for The Middle by Zedd and Maren Morris, as well as Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. May he rest in peace. Alright, now let's start with the 6 dishonorable mentions. Why are we still making mumble rap into hits? Can someone please explain their appeal to me, because I sure as hell can't figure it out. And I'm supposed to envy this guy for how great he is? This is a guy who takes slant rhyming to a whole new level, doing so by rhyming the words tweakin' and cement. Not to mention that this guy's voice is very irritating when you can even understand what he's saying. I would honestly prefer to hear his mumbling over this, but then I'd have to deal with the high-pitched voice in the background screaming, "Cowboy!" When I hear that, this is what I'm hearing. Skip. Even though I said that country music had a good year in my best of video, not all of it was good. Some real turds did manage to sneak through, like this from former Survivor runner-up Chase Rice. Even though this is his first year-end hit, he's been pretty successful in the country music scene for years now, releasing this collection of fecal matter way back in 2013. Now granted, this song is nowhere near as bad as that atrocity, but it still has its problems. Instrumentally, the song doesn't sound that bad, but the true problems come with the lyrics. You see, even though Chase Rice has been blessed with traveling the world with his girlfriend, he doesn't remember seeing any of the marvelous sights that planet Earth has to offer. Why? Well, I'll let Drake answer that. Well said. I never wanted this day to come, but here we are. This is Ed Sheeran's worst hit song with him as a leading artist. I feel it's important that I make that distinction, since his contributions to Lil Dicky's 2 ass tumors are far worse in my opinion, but still, Ed is better than this. It may have taken me a while to come around on the tropical sounding instrumentation on Shape of You, Ed Sheeran's biggest hit to date, but at least there I can bop to it. This stuff is just weak sauce. Although I don't have a problem with the lyrical content about being turned off by a party, the biggest sinker for this song is the lazy performance, not only from Ed Sheeran, but also from Justin Bieber, and I can't tell the two apart on the chorus. Which reminds me, Ed Sheeran is such a disappointment that I almost forgot that Justin Bieber was in this song initially. He adds nothing here. and this song had no business being as big of a hit as it was. Next. The fact that I'm only placing a Chris Brown song in the dishonorable mention segment of a worst of video is something that just should not happen. However, I can't really say that this song really compares to Freaky Friday. Then again, after hitting rock bottom with that scrotal discharge, really have nowhere to go but up. Most of the song's low position comes down to the fact that the song is more boring than watching paint dry. Although on the flip side, watching paint dry doesn't entail having to listen to Drake's monotone or Chris Brown's overuse of autotune. I can't even be bothered to give a fuck about the lyrics of this song, well, except for the one where CB demands his girl only listen to his music. It's just that boring. Let's just move on. This song very well could have missed this list, as the trap instrumentation is actually pretty catchy, and A Boogie with the Hoodie has a very good variety of flows to make the song work for the most part. But what landed the song on this list was 6ix9ine's part. It is just jarring how much it doesn't fit in with A Boogie's part. You can make the case that even if A Boogie with the Hoodie does sound like he's giving his girl rough sex in his verse, at least I can imagine that it is still somewhat intimate. With 6ix9ine, his delivery and his bars make it sound like he's fucking his girl with an automatic rifle. This is not the first time that A Boogie with the Hoodie has had potentially okay songs go down the shitter due to guest performers. Do you all remember this classic? We'll get to Kodak in a bit, but for now... The piano instrumentation for this track is actually not all that bad, and this song also could very well have missed my worst list. But then you have Blueface, and the obvious complaint is that he can't stay on beat to save his life. But that's not the big problem for me. For me, the song sucks mainly for one line towards the middle of the verse, where he says, "I beat the puss up, now it's a murder scene." I don't think I want to even try to put into words the kind of imagery that lyric puts in my head. Just trust me when I say that the imagery is very disgusting, to say the least. Okay, with those dishonorable mentions out of the way, I think we should get to the top 10 list proper, starting off with number 10. This song was the third biggest hit of 2019. Really? I would really appreciate it if someone were to explain to me the appeal of Halsey, because I sure don't get it. The only song she's been in where I actually don't mind her was in East Side, but even there, she was the weak link that kept that song from being an honorable mention back in 2018. But in her biggest solo hit, no. Just no. I could give two fucks whether or not this song is about her short-lived relationship with G-Eazy. This song's biggest problem stems from the fact that here, I can't stand her voice, especially once you get to the chorus proper. And it was only recently that I discovered what other critics were referring to when they said that the bridge interpolates Cry Me a River, a song which I regret leaving off my Best of 2003 video. With all due respect to those critics who pointed out that who made that astute realization, that is not an interpolation, that is a straight up facelift. Halsey has made some bad songs before, but this is her worst yet. Number 9. So, what do I have for my number 9? Oh, this list is only going to get better, isn't it? I'm not going to make any friends here by saying that I don't hate this song as much as nearly every other online critic out there does. But it wouldn't have made this list if it didn't deserve to. If there's a song from my 2018 worst list that I'd compare this to, it would be Changes by XXXTentacion. Let's see. Very minimalistic piano instrumentation. Check. Very basic lyrics. Annoying voice. Annoying singing voice. Well, the intro makes that a check as well. Holy shit, make that a double check. I may regret this. Very well may regret this, but just as a bit of an exercise, I'm going to take this moment to try and figure out how that vocal snippet was created by a human voice. Oh man, that really hurts my throat. I think I've made my point. Let's move on. Number 8. If you thought that we're starting off this top 10 proper on a good note, trust me, it is only gonna get better still. I told you we'd get to Ariana in a future video. Now is a future video. Not her worst song, believe me, we'll get there, but this is far from good as well. I think the song title tells you all you need to know about this song, but let's discuss it in more detail, shall we? Once you get past the title, you realize that this is a Steal Your Guy song. Once you get past that, you notice that the excuse she gives for stealing a guy makes no sense. What kind of excuse is, "'cause I'm bored"? And once you get past that, it then becomes clear that she feels that it is her right to get into this guy's pants. Add in minimal trap instrumentation that I said was becoming prevalent with this new era of hers, and you have a song where I am able to definitively say that Ariana is better than this. Although, with what's to come in this video, I'm not so sure about that anymore. Number 7. This year didn't really have as big of a problem of horrible people finding success as 2018 did, but some did manage to slip through the cracks. And I'm not even talking about the current known offenders like Chris Brown, 6ix9ine, or Kodak Black, because this entry takes shit person to a whole new level. Okay, perhaps you're thinking that it is very difficult to be worse than a woman beater, a confessed pedophile, or a convicted rapist, but this is what we get from YNW Melly. Here, we have a song from a person who has been charged with murder. To make matters worse, the song's lyrics almost read like a confession. I say almost because the song was originally released back in 2017, a good year and a half before the murder, before he actually killed 2 people. Still, I can see how people would be quick to jump to conclusions, especially with the second verse where he describes accidentally shooting a friend and watching him die in his arms. As you listen through, however, you get the feeling that he may be remorseful of his actions, and that's the sort of thing that could have kept the song off the list until the third verse comes along, accented with that maniacal laughter. That right there is what earned the song a spot on the list. Worse yet, I fear that there are people who have listened through the song and like it, but won't even think twice about that laugh. Maybe left thinking that such activity is socially acceptable, and I will be flabbergasted if I have to convince any of my viewers that it is not acceptable. Moving on. Number 6. And on the topic of bad people having chart success in 2019, I didn't want to do this. After a fantastic quality streak that has lasted for half of the decade, Bruno Mars brings it to a screeching halt with his involvement in this song. Alright, that's probably being a bit too unfair to Bruno himself, but on the chorus, he just sounds like he couldn't care any less. And it's telling that even when he's phoning it in, he's still the best performer here. Gucci Mane's verse is mostly forgettable, well, with the exception of him comparing himself to classic soul singers Nat King Cole and Barry White. Fuck off. But then we get to Kodak Black, easily the worst part of the song. The guy has a history of cringe-worthy lines, and while none are as bad as his stuff from 2017, they aren't as good either. What is he eating to make his piss smell high-tech? This makes me think he's eating computer parts, and then that leads me to wonder how painful it must feel to have bits of silicon flowing through his digestive system, not to mention his urethra, and I think I've taken this train of thought farther than anybody wants me to take it, so I'm just going to move on before I lose you guys anymore. Number 5. Oh good, more music from Lil Baby. Just what I wanted.
We started off as close friends. Somehow you turned into my girlfriend. We used to tell each other everything. I even went and bought a...
For those of you who watched my worst of 2018 video, you very well may have expected the Lil Baby song on this list to be Drip Too Hard. To be honest, that song is saved from a spot on this list thanks to that shimmering instrumentation and nothing else. This song is not so lucky. Now to think about it, however, this song doesn't really have horrendous instrumentation either. No, what lands the song on this list are the lyrics. Lil Baby is reflecting on how his relationship with his girlfriend blossomed, but is wondering why things have changed between the two, and why she's been acting so rude. Gee, will we ever find out? Oh, he cheated on her. And he's trying to buy her love back. Why does this lyrical sentiment sound familiar? Of course, that explains everything. Anyways, that's the basic premise of this song. I cheated on you, I'm now trying to bribe my way back into your good graces. Why are you so pissed off at me? Do I need to say anything more? Just fuck off with this guy. Number 4. Apparently, this pick is going to be a controversial opinion, but I don't care. Sheck West sucks ass. I say that this is controversial since there are apparently people who will defend this song to their dying days. And I just don't see why people find this song any good. Instrumentally, the song is very basic with just twinkling keys. We'll get to a worse song with twinkling keys in a bit. But even on a song that's barely 3 minutes long, it gets pretty annoying very fast. The only reason this song is called Mo Bamba is because Sheck West was apparently childhood friends with the Orlando Magic ball player and wanted to pay tribute to him. Don't we all remember the last time a rapper tried to make a tribute song about a basketball player? Because I sure remember. Even with bad lyrics where he has to explain how he's like the Green Goblin, and even one about scolding you for not knowing that he fucked a girl, that's not where the most egregious sins come from. No, that comes from Sheck West's delivery, where he elongates syllables to ridiculous lengths, and then there is his voice, which somehow gets worse as the song progresses. Even though this is only at number 4, I originally thought that this song was going to top my list proper when the calendar year 2019 started. Now, what could be worse than this, you may ask? Number 3. For this entry, I'm just going to play you 2 song clips, one from 1987 and the other from 2008, and I'll give you a few seconds to try and figure out what, if at all, these songs have in common. Okay, the common thread that I was looking for was that both are songs that other music critics have mentioned don't belong in the Billboard charts, or at the very least, the Hot 100. I bring those 2 up to add potentially the worst example of such a song to date. Why was this a hit? Anyone? This was a scenario where prior to even listening through the song all the way, just the snippets that I heard were enough to tell me that I was going to be putting the song on my worst list, and very high at that. I was at one point actually considering this for the number 1 slot. That little parody of the Jaws theme accented by it with the very, very brief guitar riff is literally the only reason why this song is only at number 3, because it's all downhill from there. I hope you like hearing annoying voices singing do-do-do-do-do-do, because that is more than half of the lyrics in this song. And don't even give me the bullshit excuse that this is not meant to be taken seriously, that this is a kid's song. My criteria, again, specify that the only restrictions for making this list are that they have to be on the year-end list and that they can't be repeats from previous years. Both restrictions are met here, so it is on this list. I don't care if I get hate for this, I stand by my choice. Number 2. God fucking damn it, Ariana. I'm not doing the cop-out move that seems to be popular amongst music critics this year by placing this at number 7. I mean, because it's called 7 Rings and it was the 7th biggest song of the year. For some reason that they think it's funny to make it the 7th worst song of the year. I'm not doing that because this is much, much worse than number 7. The first thing everyone points out when talking about this song is a sample of my favorite things from The Sound of Music, but honestly, that is the least of the song's problems. There are 2 major issues with the song. First, you have Ariana Grande herself. This song does not make use of her natural pipes at all. Hell, she even tries to rap during the bridge. But even that pales in comparison to this song's biggest problem. The lyrics. The song is basically Ariana bragging about how much better she is than everyone. She is able to buy whatever she wants, blows off her money by the millions, possibly even tens of billions depending on whether or not she's including area codes in her phone number receipts, and even has the audacity to demean the listener for not being as blessed with green as she is. Really? How much more of a fuck you could she have given to her fan base? But for me, the lyric that pisses me off the most comes in the first verse. Look, I honestly wish that she never had to live through the Manchester terrorist attack, but to use that as an excuse to take your artistic image and just wipe your ass with it? Personally, I don't think that Thank You Next is as great as most other critics do. This is not me saying that it is bad by any means, but at least it was a more worthy number one hit than this. The fact that I'm placing multiple Ariana Grande songs on a worst list, not only with one very near the top, but above a fucking kid song, infuriates me to no end and should infuriate you, the listener, as well. With all this venom that I'm spitting, you're probably wondering what could possibly top this as a worst hit song. Well, it was this close to topping my list and would have done so if not for number 1. I am a shitty human being, I'll admit that, but when a song is this shitty, I just could not place it any lower than number 1. Am I happy that Juice WRLD died of a seizure at 21 years old? Fuck no. I have a younger brother who isn't even 7 months younger than he was, and I can't imagine the kind of grief that his fans and family are going through right now. However, this isn't a list about a musician's personal life, it is a list about their music. So that is what I'm going to stick to for this pick. And oh boy, where do I even start? The twinkling pianos that provide the instrumentation of this song normally wouldn't cause much of an issue with me if it weren't coupled with horrendous singing and lyrical content. I should start out with the singing, or at least what I think is supposed to be singing. Honestly, who is the genius who decided that this bitching and moaning was appealing to listen to? I'm seriously trying my hardest not to laugh, considering that, again, he just recently died. But I can't really see how he was able to sing this without breaking out into laughter, unless he really believed in what he was singing. And then you have the lyrics. They read off as him berating his girlfriend for leaving him brokenhearted, and there are some real gems in here. Guys, it isn't cool to act like a douche in front of a woman who is not in the best state of mind, and it is also, in general, a bad idea to bottle up your feelings, because otherwise it has the potential to lead to violent outbursts. Oh, too late, I guess he's already had this violent outburst. Again, may Juice WRLD rest in peace. But just because an artist dies young doesn't mean that they're above all criticism. And I don't care if making this my pick for the worst hit song of 2019 causes some of my subscribers to be so disgusted with me that they don't want to watch any of my material again. When shit is stacked this high, it should be a felony to give it any benefit of the doubt. Well, that was my pretty intense list of the worst hit songs of 2019. If you liked the video, share it with others so that I can continue to grow my channel going into the 2020s. Subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of new material from me, assuming you still want to support me, and leave a comment down below. I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot harder than normal for any potentially butthurt commenters to do, but I simply ask that if you do leave a comment, as long as you keep it civilized, I will tolerate pretty much anything you have to say. Okay. Now I'm going to be going back to reviewing music years from the past and making best lists from them. My next video will be on 1986, and that video is slated to be released on Saturday, December 28th. Stay tuned for that video. Until then, I'm Tyler Marchand, and I'll see you later. Take care.